Right now, you can tell Krzyzewski to kiss my ass. I don't care if he's losing or not. I know he's going to say his back start. I got to go. Hey, guys. What's going on? It's JG from AuburnSports.com. You may remember me as the Commodore and or publisher. Yeah. How about that, man? I had a feeling Auburn was going to win today because South Carolina's got some real issues, you know? But didn't know it was going to be quite like that. For some reason, my mic is not as loud as it ought to be. Things happen like that sometimes. What up, everybody? It is awesome to see you guys here, to have you guys here on the show on an afternoon when Auburn absolutely crushed it. Like, seriously crushed it. Like, really, really, really crushed it. 109 points today is insane. And listen, BP really likes Frank Martin, too, the coach at South Carolina. He's somebody he really likes and does not want to run the score up on him. And honestly, you know, just kind of watching the way the team played today, Auburn played today, I don't think they were trying to run it up. I think they were just playing really good basketball, man. And oh, yeah. And I did, yeah, thank you for that. Administrative assistant is here already bringing water. And also a special gift that I received recently from Jazzy Joe, who is himself an absolute star. Thank you, young lady, for your assistance here. We've got, let's see, Spread Attack U18 says 109 points. Is that the most in the SEC ever? I believe that is. I know this is a record for most points on the road in the SEC, and it's the most points Auburn has scored in an SEC game since '99 against Alabama, back in the David Hobbs era, I reckon. Ay. It's been a minute. We got some Super Chats coming through. Pocket Watch jumped in before we even got started because that's the kind of guy he is. Also, Rain 8689, who I think is a regular, just under a different name or something. I have a feeling. So consider this Super Chat a prayer up for Justin Powell. Really worried about his injury. I think you have reason to worry insofar as it just kind of slows him down a little bit, but he's going to be okay. He just hasn't been able to practice here the last, 2.5 weeks. And there's been a lot of speculation on the bunker that he's out, but I don't think that's true. I think he'll be back and he'll be okay. But appreciate you, Rain. And I know he appreciates your concern too. Also one from Crocodile says, great day so far, JGT, War Damn Eagle. I know Crocodile wasn't able to jump in on the bunker as we were doing the game as much today as he would have liked. But we're glad to have you here on the drain, sir. Thank you very much for that. Whew, what a game. I still can't believe that they were that good on offense. And you know what's weird is that Sharif has 11 assists in the first half, and I think he only had 1 in the second. But, yeah, I mean, everything was going fine. Like, it was just kind of like he was accentuating other parts of his game. They had Flanagan running the point a little bit, and we need to talk about that. I think that can still be okay as a second chance or a second, like an off-speed option. You can't play Sharif 40 minutes a game. He ain't Tez Robertson. If you guys remember old Quantez, he did play 40 minutes a game every single time. But the physical beating that Sharif is taking right now, he needs some time to sit down. I think 32 minutes, 30 to 32 is a perfect spot for him. And so you need to have Flanny play some point, and I think he's fine in that role. But there's an adjustment they need to make on that so they don't get beat coming back the other way, which is going down quite a bit today. Let's go ahead and switch over to our screen here, updated now with the current SEC results and the record 9-7, 3-5. They are definitely picking up steam here. And that Arkansas game the other day was so odd. They played well in some ways, and they were great in the first half of that game. I'm talking about not today's game, but the game that happened Wednesday. They got out there to such a great start. And then they kind of let off the gas a little bit in the second half, and Arkansas was able to climb back in. Look who it is. Jazzy Joe in the house. What up? Jazzy Joe, of course, one of our all-time greats. Says, that's a win. Where's that shot glass? Drink up. Got a little something special. Jazzy Joe sent me a little something special in the mail. This is legendary Auburn sports writer J.G. Tate. Of course, that's me. You guys know that. And inside of this box is a flask, indeed, And then some little like miniature shot glasses, which are perfect shot glasses actually for this because you're trying to go low in here. And it's also got a spout that goes into the flask to make sure you don't spill any beverage, which we definitely don't want to do that. So you put a little, I'm pulling this thing up for you guys, for reals. Sorry about that. So you put the little, and you fill that bad boy up. Yes, sir. Jazzy Joe, my man, coming through. I love it, dude. This thing's going to come in real handy when I go to the Kentucky Derby this year and put this bad boy in my pocket. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but I'll be going at one of these days, and I'll be bringing that for sure. In fact, Jazzy, I'm going to drink out of this bad boy today. I'm not going to fill it up, though. I'm not going to fill up the flask right now, but my wife's been getting on my case about I need to stop buying more bourbons. And so I need to finish off bottles before I add any new ones, which is it's fair to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and try to work on this Four Roses Small Batch Select, which I picked up in Lexington during the 2019, the run-up to the Final Four year. I bought this one, in Lexington and enjoyed it on the air then. When I was having to broadcast from my nephew's house, I was so embarrassed because I couldn't get internet anywhere else. And you guys picked me up. Why not AU in a big way that day? Oh, got to pour it in here. Appreciate you, Jazzy Joe. This one's for you, bro. The little shot glass. I love this thing. It's perfect. Oh, that Four Roses is so sweet. Spread of Texas, nice truck, Jazzy Joe. I have been in it. And that thing is absolutely as awesome as you would think it is. It's unbelievable. AU Storm 20 says that stuff is like butter. Absolutely. We love the Four Roses Small Batch Select. In fact, I was at the Tipping Point last night, my local watering hole here in Hampstead in Montgomery, and enjoyed that Four Roses single barrel, which they have there available for straight pours, which, of course, is the way that you guys would drink it, I'm sure. And, boy, enjoyed the heck out of that, too. Once it hits your lips, it feels so good. All right, let's go ahead and put this box score up here. Jazzy Joe, you're the man, dude. I appreciate you, bro. Let me go ahead and give you a little tarantula right there.
Drop a tarantula into his shorts and he'll still be cool.
All right, this box score is like, seriously, I think BP Rockman was kind of insinuating this on the bunker that this ought to be labeled NSFW because it is absolutely gorgeous from an Auburn perspective. And honestly, there's really not much negative. Even if you were trying to be negative, if you were like a Bammer and you were trying to find some way to be negative about Auburn, it would be tough to do it in this one. I guess I would start off with the one thing that bugged me about this game. Seriously, there's like 20 things that went extraordinarily well for Auburn today. I didn't like the defensive intensity. I thought it went up and down. When Auburn was playing hard and was engaged, I can't remember why I used a phrase for that on Wednesday in the game wrap. It was something like mental engagement or whatever. When they're engaged, they're terrific on defense, but it kind of comes and goes. And I think with a team this young, the way Auburn is right now, when they're having one of those great offensive performances like they were today pretty much the whole way, I think it's hard to kind of, you're dunking on them. You're just absolutely just belittling these dudes, and I think it's hard to stay totally engaged on both sides of the ball for long stretches. So I'm not getting into it too much, but I thought the defensive intensity goes up and down too much. And I know for BP, that's something that really kind of bothers him. But that's about the only thing I could say today that I didn't think was amazing. Sharif's passing it's always next level, but today it was next level. He had 11 assists in the first half. He had one to JT in the second half that was just absolutely stupid. Like it was just... I made a GIF of it that I put on the bunker. In fact, I can pull this up for you guys, I think. It's this one right here. This is just stupid right here. Like watch how he keeps his shoulders square to the bucket. Instead of rolling and turning his shoulders away, as you see a lot of point guards do, he keeps his chest facing the bucket, changes direction, and then throws it around that white dude. And JT, to his credit, kept his hands up. He knew the pass was going to come because Sharif always finishes what he's going to start. This is such a stupid pass. Great finish. Gets the and one. And to me, this is why Sharif is so good. His technique with the ball, with his body positioning, his quickness are just insane. And it's like he's been able to practice long enough before the NCAA sat him out, and then after, here in the last month or so, where the kids know to expect greatness. They played with him enough, That play right there is just stupid. I don't even know. There's not many dudes, NBA or pro, that would make that consistently just to be able to read it like that. He's unbelievable. And I think we should start seriously considering the possibility of him leaving for the NBA. I'm just saying, I know his shooting is not awesome, and I think it's something that at least early in his career is going to hold him back a little bit. But I mean, I think about everything else he does, man. Look at Brian H. says, team gets lazy in the second half and coming out with too much confidence. Okay. I mean, I don't know about lazy, but defensively the intensity wasn't consistent enough, I don't think. Yeah, Bourbon Bowl says that's a sick pass around that white dude. It really was. There were so many. Not around the white dude. I'm just saying great passes today because he was really on his game. Yeah, I'll just pull up some of these. These are the ones I posted on the bunker. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, this is great ball passing. Watch the ball movement. So it comes across JT out to Cambridge, who kicks it back to Allen. He doesn't like his look. Sees space vacating in the middle. Goes right back in. And give JT credit for hustling down the court. They were doing that all day long. Just sharing the ball, and the tempo on the passing was so hot today. Now, part of that is because they weren't doubling Sharif the way that Arkansas was, but South Carolina, they don't ball that way. South Carolina is a methodical, physical ball club. It's just a whole different way of doing things. But Auburn's passing was just absolutely sick today. And, I mean, Sharif's a big part of that, obviously, because he's such a great passer. Oh, yeah, this is the alley-oop. I think what was crazy about this pass is just how efficient this is. Devin out to Sharif, and then he just puts it right up. And who is that? Is that Franklin with the finish? I just can't see. My eyes are kind of going a little bit. Tons of great passing from this team today. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, they did this one a bunch. I think they scored 4 buckets on this. This is a pick-and-roll roller. And you can see Jalen sets the pick. Sharif continues around outside, and then he just kind of backs out. This is just kind of basic stuff. They were doing this a couple games ago, over and over again. Had a hard time with Arkansas because they were pressuring Sharif so much and they were clouding his reads, but South Carolina gives you plenty of space. And I love the South Carolina guy turning around after that and goes, what do you want me to do? They ran that play 4 or 5 times and scored, I think, on all of them. Or may have missed one, but it was either a layup or a dunk every time. It's just absolutely sick. They were just way better than South Carolina today. My goodness. Let's see. We got a lot of chatting going on today. This is great, man. Stoop Up. My main man says, Coops Oops are the best I've seen in years. Doc was good, but Sharif is another level. Absolutely. Doc, prior to this, would have been the best at this, but Sharif's just definitely on another level. Stoop Up jumps in again, of course, keeping the streak alive. A streak that dates back to when Hector was a pup, when Ben Franklin was just a young state senator from the state of Virginia. So Sharif going to go pro if he gets a first-round grade. I was seeing something on ESPN today, and I don't necessarily trust everything ESPN tells me, but on this I would, saying that he's kind of snuck into that first-round speculation for the NBA draft. I mean, I agree with you. If he's first round, that's something you got to take a serious look at. But I do want to say this. I just think that with his shooting in the state that it's in right now, which is kind of so-so, I mean, he's got lots of other things he's doing exceptionally well right now, particularly for his age and his lack of experience. He's playing great basketball. But the NBA is a scoring league, and they're going to want points, and I think he's going to be there. But he's not there right now. John Carolina says Sharif has a similar profile to John Morant. He's what people want and are looking for at that position. But John Morant, he's a pretty polished shooter. I'm not saying he's the best one in the NBA, but I don't think that Sharif, in fact, as it stands right now, Sharif would be probably one of the worst shooting point guards in the NBA, short of Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons is 6'9", and he does a lot of weird things that point guards don't generally do. Sharif is not that guy. I think he can get there. I just think he needs more time. And another point we need to make about Sharif is this. You always kind of have to wonder a little bit. Also, Jazzy Joe, appreciate you, bro. Sharif is in a situation where he's coming from a family that has money. And, a lot of kids aren't in that situation. So they go for the money immediately. But Cooper, to me, I don't think he's a guy who automatically leaves if he's out of the lottery. If he's in the lottery, you go. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. If you're in the lottery, you go. But if he's like a 25-ish pick, I don't know. He knows these dudes that are coming in. He's played with that forward out of Atlanta, whose name escapes me for some reason, Jabari. He knows Jabari. They're friends. He knows what's up. He knows what time it is. He knows how good that kid is. And he's going to be dishing to a guy who's an absolute beast. I don't know. Ravine says the only thing holding Cooper back from the NBA is outside shooting and defense. Not that they are bad, but he needs to improve for the next level. Yeah. One thing that's interesting about Sharif is that on the attacking end, he's a smaller dude. I'm now not saying he's weak. He's just a small, compact player the way that Iverson was. He doesn't mind the physicality. He gets bumped a lot. He's always gotten bumped a lot. I feel like he's kind of used to it. And I mentioned this in the thread on the bunker. For those of you who are just vaguely familiar with soccer, one of the best players in the world for the last 10 or 15 years, or maybe ever, is Lionel Messi, who's an Argentinian winger / striker who plays for Barcelona. He's a smaller dude too, and these teams are always trying to just knock his ass out and being really physical with him. But he's been like that his whole life because he's kind of a smaller dude. He's used to it. He just kind of knows how to angle his body and get away from the biggest hits. And Sharif's good at that, I think, on the attacking end. He does not let the physicality bother him much on the attacking end, but I feel like it bothers him more on the defensive end. I heard about that. Ames Storm 20 says, did you hear Shaq mention Sharif on TV the other night? Yes, I heard about that. That's pretty impressive. Be getting that kind of run. Another thing we need to talk about from this game is a tremendous performance, honestly, from Al Flanagan, who finished, I think, with 24. 24 on 7 of 12 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3, 6 of 6 from the line. The numbers continue to spike for this guy. For those of you who maybe weren't paying attention last year, he was a horrendous free throw shooter. I mean, so bad. Like 40% free throw shooter for a shooting guard was just like, this never happens. And now this might have put him over 80% for the season. He was getting very close to 80%. I know that. Let's take a look at the Ken Palm. I don't necessarily trust Ken Palm all the time for everything, but on some of these numbers, they're great at that. Al Flanagan now for the season is over 80%. Good God. He is now 80% from the line, 80.3. His 2-point shooting is 60. Well, 61 now. 3-point shooting is 39%. Guys, I'm telling you, 39% from 3, and he was 14% last year. He's gone from 14 to 39. His 2-point shooting's gone from 53 to 61, and his free throw shooting's gone from 46 to 80. And this isn't small sample size. He's bringing it every damn night. You know what's amazing, though, seriously, is that Sharif, how much run he gets on the scoring end. When he's on the floor, he's getting about 34% of the shots. That's that. I mean, you have to be like James Harden to get stuff like that. Nobody in college basketball. I bet nobody in college basketball is over 30. And he's at 37. I mean, he's worth it. He's definitely worth it. I don't know if this Ken Palm's worth taking a look at. Let's see, Auburn. These are numbers that I would be doing if I was doing the game wrap. Auburn's 2-point shooting today was 52%, which is good. 3-point shooting today was 52%, which is extremely good. Free throw shooting was 93.8%, which 15 of 16 is extremely good. Let's see, rebounding was 34 for them, 46 for Auburn was plus that much, really? 46 to 34. Good God. I didn't realize it was that lopsided. Man. Valley Tiger says, hey, peeps, 109, and they took the foot off the gas. I don't know about that, honestly. I mean, they put Leor in there, which, you know, he's kind of like the human victory cigar, but he hit threes too, man. He was bringing it. There was some talk earlier, AU Storm saying that he thought that Sharif would be like Andre Miller. AU Taxman says Andre Miller's a great compliment. Not as flashy as Cooper, though. Majerus really reined him into his benefit. Boy, yeah, I have some experience with Andre Miller because I covered that Final Four when Utah was there. Utah ended up playing Kentucky, and I spent some time talking to Andre, more or less one-on-one for a big feature I did. He had one of my favorite quotes of all time. I'm trying to get it right. Because he was from, I think he's from Compton. He was from South L.A. I know that. And so he goes to Utah. And you guys know me. I love me NWA and that whole scene. And I was just like, how does a guy from Compton end up in Utah? And he said one of the toughest things about going to Utah is when I don't show up to class, everybody knows. He said that. The joke being, of course, that he's like the only black guy in any of his classes. But he was just so self-aware of it. You know, he's just funny. I miss that stuff. Rick Majerus, one of my all-time favorites. He would have been right. He would have been at home in the bunker, believe me. I feel like Sharif Cooper is significantly more of an athlete than Andre Miller was. Not to rag on Andre Miller. He made it a long time in the league. But that's because he was good at lots of stuff. I think Sharif has some really quick twitch stuff that a lot of people don't have. I mean, I do think that he has the quickness of a John Wall. He doesn't have the size of a John Wall, and he's not there shooting-wise yet. But I think he can be – I think he has a chance to be special. I just don't know. I just wonder – I know his shooting can get better. I just don't know if it's going to get that great, you know? But we'll see. I mean, he's still just getting started. He's just getting started. What's he, 5 games in right now? It's crazy. I had a super chat coming through earlier from Hornatius, the better horn, allegedly. It says, "Sup, beaches." What's up, man? It's awesome to have you. Bart M says, just FYI, we signed up for the Rivals site because of the brain drain. This is for those on the bunker who gripe. Brain drain is the best Auburn sports product online. Well, this is what I had to say about our show here.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Just depends, you know. But thank you for jumping in, Bart. And I hope we can keep it going for you there over on the site, too. The bunker is tons and tons of fun. War Eagle 0008 says, was listening to postgame. What bourbon are we drinking? I'm drinking this Four Roses small batch select that I bought approximately 2 years ago now. As you can see, there's not a lot left. My wife's been getting on my case because I tend to gather bottles, as I'm sure many of you understand. And then I need to finish some bottles. So we're going to try to, I don't know if I can finish this right now, honestly. Maybe I can. But it's better to, yeah, let's just make her happy and buy more bourbon. How about that? Let's see. Spread Attack U18 says, thank you, Bart. Thanking Bart on behalf of the AuburnSports.com community, of which Spread Attack is a member for sure. Richie US, is possible for Cooper to win SEC Player of the Year? That's an interesting question, brother. Yes. In fact, I do think that's possible. Because, I mean, who would be the front runner right now? It's probably the kid at LSU, right? He's a freshman. And you think about a team like South Carolina that's had so many games missed because of COVID, and I think there will be more games missed, not necessarily by South Carolina, just through the league. You know, you think, well, Sharif's way behind because he's only played, 5 games now. But, you know, by the time it's all said and done, if we can assume that Auburn does keep up with all of its games and stays on schedule, there's a chance he may have enough games, you know, at the end. He's always going to be a little bit short probably, but, you know, the way he's just such a scoring machine, driving to the hole, he may be able to catch up. 16 points today on 4 of 10 shooting, which is kind of his norm, right? I think he was 9 of 19 against Arkansas. It's good to see him take a few less shots because I think they have players that are worthy of more shooting. I mean, you can take a look. Jalen had a great day today, 8 of 12. He was super aggressive today. I think the thing with him was always aggression. Are you going to go out there? Are you going to seize this opportunity? Or are you going to go through the motions and hope the ball lands in your hands and you can finish? I mean, I feel like Jalen is just walking that line all the time of, do I push it or do I just play back? Today he was pushing it, and I thought he was tremendous. Same thing goes for JT. Although, for me, I don't think it's necessarily the choice of am I going to push it or not. JT just didn't know what the hell he was doing. And again, remember, he's the youngest of the whole crew. He's supposed to be in high school right now. I just felt like he didn't know. And now you see the last two games, and I know they lost against Arkansas, just the one the other night, but I thought he was engaged the whole way, and he's starting to kind of understand where he needs to be. I feel like with Sharif there, he's more confident in what his role is. Maybe when Sharif wasn't there, and it was Al and it was JP up there, he felt like he was supposed to be doing more. He just needs to be doing what he's doing right now, which is an off-the-ball guy, keeping his hands up, being aware, finishing at the hole. Maybe a fewer three-point shooting, a little bit less of that, a little bit more of driving the lane and letting Sharif dish to him like he did on that clip we watched earlier. Got a super chat coming through from Ambitious Engineer, who's been a big-time super chatter here in the last, you've been on the scene, maybe 2 months now? It's appreciated, bro. Says the big test for Sharif will be the next two games, Baylor and Missouri. We'll show if he's ready or not. Both have NBA guards on their roster. Is the Baylor game, is that the next one? No, we got Missouri, who's been playing pretty well. Missouri's a pretty good ball club, but that's going to be in Auburn Arena. So that could be a nice win for Auburn, honestly. And then at Baylor's going to be a real bitch. They're good, man. And it's always going to be tough because Davion is the point guard at Baylor, and that's a tough one. That one hits me kind of personally because I spent time with Davion when he was a recruit, and when he was here, him and New Williams were two players that I just got to know. This is back before COVID when you could actually sit around and talk to players. And I got to know those two real well, and then Davion left, and I was beside myself. I mean, not that I'm not personally invested in Auburn's wins and losses, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of there to catalog what's going on, but I had to call him and be like, is this really happening? Are you really leaving? And he was like, yeah, I just don't think it's right for me. I love Auburn, but I just don't, because he was playing behind Jared at that point, figuring that Jared would be there for a while. He was there another full year, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see where Baylor is. They are ranked number 2 in the Ken Palm. Missouri is ranked number 39 in the Ken Palm right now. Looks like they've got Tennessee. That game tips at 7:30 Central Time on the SEC Network. Missouri at Tennessee, that's probably the best game, one of the best 10 games in the country, probably today. So, yeah, that would be a big dub if they could get that one. In fact, Ken Palm is predicting Auburn wins that game, but I don't know if that algorithm really matters or much. Ken Palm is projecting Auburn to finish 8-10. If you guys remember just maybe 2 weeks ago, they were predicting Auburn to go over in the league. So I don't know. I don't know what the algorithm means or anything like that. It's tough, man. It's tough with Davion. I mean, I'm just really glad he's at Baylor kicking ass, but it's like he's supposed to be the point guard here. He's supposed to be the point guard here. All right, for those of you who like getting on the horn and talking it up, I know we've got some folks that love doing that. Of course, I love talking too. That's why I'm here. Feel free to call in. We'd love to take your call. Let's see. Nash Tiger says, great, Jay, you puke. Maybe if you were more invested, Davion would still be here. I like it. Yeah, Davion. I understand where he's coming from totally. And New was kind of a different deal. I think New, he got injured and he just wasn't quite exactly the same, and he was frustrated by it, and I didn't really understand how he was going to fit in with Bryce. When Bryce came in, I think the consensus was the kid could shoot, but they weren't sure that he could get himself together enough to be a really good player. And it took him a couple years, but boy, when he got it in gear, he was really good, and New had to go. New ended up at Fresno. Let's see. Pocket Watch says, for Mizzou, have you considered doing a joint show with Gabe? Our friend Gabriel DeArmond, who is the who is the publisher at PowerMizzou.com. Maybe a pregame or halftime show or something. I don't know. I know we don't do midweek drains, but this is a special occasion. I don't know. We could talk about that. Not upset. Got a super chat coming through from my main man cousin. My cousin Chris Haynes says, you can hide bottles from an administrative assistant at our house. Hey, now. My man Cuzzo, rumor has it that he's going to be moving. Rumor has it that he's going to be moving across the street in relatively short order. So maybe I will be able to hide some stuff over there. As long as you don't drink it. I'm just kidding. You can. You could always drink it. Do I have something over here for... yeah, we can give Chris one of these right here.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Well, he's not actually 40, but he's close. My man Corey W. says, found that like button again. 2 drains in a row, biatches. We need more thumbs up. 19 is pathetic, guys. We got 120-something people on this show, and we need to do better than that. I do want to call Brian and get some thoughts on this. Maybe Christian as well, but I want to make sure that they're off that Zoom with BP before we get into that. I think BP does radio, and then he goes and does the beat writer Zoom. We can also talk a little bit about Brian Harsin, the Auburn football coach who held a Zoom with reporters, was it yesterday? Hell, I can't remember what day it is anymore. Maybe 2 days ago, talking about, boy, everything. There's been a lot going on since we last got an update from Brian Harsin. Nacho Ombre jumps in with a super chat. Says, love the drain, love the Tigers. Long live Chad Pruitt. Damn, okay. Well, I mean, we love Chad Pruitt. Of course we do. Of course we do. Chad Pruitt, of course, on the staff. One of the important scouts. He does some scouting. Him and Burgo and Coach Stephen Pearl, Ira, Wes. Part of that great green, Fran. People doing great work. Ambitious engineer demands that everyone smash that like button right now. We also got a super chat coming through from War Eagle 0008. My man, what's up, bro? Drinking the Old Forester 1920. You got to give me the color on that, bro. I'm sorry, I know I've had it. Is it the Old Fine whiskey or is it the Prohib style? I don't remember. He likes it really good. 1-4 basketball. Yeah, I want to talk about that. Tell me which one it is. Do you sit J. Will next year when Jabari comes in? Can be on fire when he's on. Thanks for the show. Great question. Let's see if I can get did somebody give me a thumbs down? How dare you? You guys are the worst. Let's take a look over here at this. We haven't been over here in a minute, have we? So let's move Sharif over here in the first spot. Let's go ahead and move. Boy, it has been a minute, hasn't it? All right, this is a more accurate representation of what's going on. We can put Cambridge here. He kind of plays both of those spots. And Chris Moore, same thing. Well, he's probably, I don't know. We'll put Cambridge here. JT's been playing more center, honestly. Because they've been going a little bit smaller. With Cardwell playing that, he's been playing here, and Akimbola has been behind him, actually. And then Franklin's actually been pretty decent. This lineup's kind of changed a lot, hasn't it, since we've been on here last. So let's see. You add Jabari. Jabari would definitely be in the power forward spot. Although he could technically play wing as well if you were going to be crazy about it. And then you've got to think about Trey. I mean, Trey's definitely better than Jamal. So that's not a big deal. You would put him right here. No big deal. Yeah, you're right. It creates a little bit of a logjam there. I wonder if you could. Got too many dudes. You got a lot of good players there. Because you guys know how I feel about Dylan Cardwell now. He's coming on. I'm telling you, he's coming on. He's playing better basketball. JT is playing a lot better now than he was a month ago. He's becoming a really good complementary player. Jalen, again, when he's aggressive, he's tremendous. Whew. That's going to be a good team, guys. I'm serious. I mean, if Sharif stays, this team is just stupid. Because you've got Trey Alexander plus JP plus Cambridge. Jamal's going to be a senior. You got Flanny, who's just been insane this year. He's getting so much better. Jalen, and we talked about him. JT's been getting better. Dylan's been getting better. Chris Moore, I think he needs a little bit more time, but he's a really good player. This is just a ridiculous roster. I don't know, guys. I don't really know. That's a great question, War Eagle 00008. I don't know how you work that out. But I just think Jabari's the kind of dude where he plays, man. I mean, he's one of those dudes like Sharif where you just play him. He's just that kind of player. Okay, so War Eagle says blue prohib style. Okay, I do like me some prohib style now, bro. For me, old fine whiskey would be the better of those, but I would give prohib style, that would be a 3+ for me on the scale of 0 to 4. I did get my hands on a bottle of Old Forester single barrel proof last night. It was a pick from Memphis. I think it was 126 proof. So I might want to put a drop or two of water in there, but I'm interested to taste that one a little bit more. I had a pour of it, and I liked it. It was hot, but it wasn't like rough. It was just hot. Spread Attack U18 says, can't wait for Jabari. He's going to be sick, dude. Valley Tiger says, love me some Cardwell. You can tell he has fun out there, too. Yes. He really has that joie de vivre, doesn't he? And you can kind of watch him play, and he's just getting better. And he's going to be really good. Let's see what his numbers look like here. You know, Ken Palm's not a huge fan because he's kind of a complimentary player. Ken Palm likes, they're big on usage, and he gets this many minutes, and he puts the ball up this many times. I get it. That's great when you're looking at somebody like Sharif, but there's a lot of value in dudes like Horace Spencer who don't necessarily get that kind of stuff. Let me go ahead and pull up Cardwell's data here. This is Cardwell's Ken Palm. Very consistent, right? They get him 2 or 3 shots a game. Today he had a few more. He had a really nice run there early in the second half where they were feeding him the ball and he was getting into the hole. He was doing a hell of a job, but usually 3 or 4 shots. Gets 10, 12, 13, 14 minutes. He's going to be good, man. I think that most people, like the folks in this chat who watch every game, you guys know about Dylan Cardwell. I feel like a lot of people don't know much about him because Sharif gets so much run, and he deserves that. He's insane. He's really, really good. Good stuff, War Eagle 0008. He thinks that running Jabari and Thor in the front court is going to be fun to see. It's going to be a very long group. And then you bring in Babatunde, who's been a little iffy, right? But I love he plays really hard. He's a lot like Horace. Yeah, and then you bring Dylan and Babatunde in there, and all of a sudden you've got a lot of long dudes. A lot of long dudes. I'm going to take a look at this Ken Palm, see where Auburn's kind of showing up in the rankings here. Go ahead and pull this one over for you real quick. All right, this is their overall scouting report from Ken Palm, which just kind of gives you an overview of what they're good at and what they're not good at. And you can see the ones that really stick out to me are they're on the attacking end, their turnover percentage. Although, you know, we know, those of us who watch every single game, they have a turnover problem just in a general sense. And a lot of that had to do with JP out there, Flanny out there, Sharif getting used to it. Sharif was much more thrifty with the ball today. So I expect that number to get better. And then the steal percentage is low, which kind of goes hand in hand with the turnovers. That means that people are able to steal the ball from Auburn a lot. They're just a little loose with the ball. It's true. It's a fair thing. You can see the things they do really well is their effective field goal percentage is good. Offensive rebounding percentage is good because they're, with the exception of Sharif, they're longer than average at every spot. Even their backups are. So they get to a lot of balls like that. And then their block percentage on defense is really good. Same thing. Although it should be even better than that. They're just now getting used to help defense when they're in man. They played some zone today too. And they do that. 2 years ago, if you'd have told me that Auburn would play zone in 6 consecutive games, I'd have been like, shut your ass. They run it now a lot. I mean, they don't run it a lot like per game, but they run it probably at times in every single game. In fact, I will pull this up. Let me I use another scouting service called Synergy, and they're the ones that do the really nitty-gritty. In fact, there's so much data on Synergy that I'm still learning how to kind of make sense of it. And I post some of it on the bunker, but some of it's really hard for me to understand because it's just too deep. Burgo was helping me with this before. But now that we're COVIDed up, I can't really get to him very easily. So this is Auburn's scouting snapshot. And I think a lot of the teams, like when Auburn's playing them, let's say they play Missouri next, Missouri's going to take a look at this data right here. This is kind of what Auburn does. Now this is on the attacking end. You can see they do, that's actually a lot of transition buckets. You think 310 of their 310 versus 928 in the half court. That's a lot. We talk a lot about short shot clock. If you listen to Coach Sonny, he loves talking about how good Auburn is off inbounds, and that's kind of a snapshot there. Now, in the 2019 season, when they went to the Final Four, they were at like 96% on that one. So they're still kind of learning. And you can see they face a lot more man than zone. 85, well, call it 86% of their offensive possessions are against a man look, and then 14% are against a zone look. Let me look at Auburn's defense now. Real quick. Takes me a second to pull this over. All right, so this is Auburn's defensive scouting report. And you can see they're still 78.4%. I'm sorry. Man is 85 versus 14. So they're on par with everybody else. But Auburn used to run like 2% zone. Now it's 14%. Today, I bet the possessions was probably less than 10. I would remember 5, 6, 7, something like that. It's interesting in the half court, both man and zone is considered very good. Their transition being average defense is because they don't get back. Something else I meant to talk about at the top of the show. So when Al Flanagan comes in to play point guard, which they do maybe 2 shifts a game now, it's like he loves driving because he's a driver when he's got the ball in his hand like that. Although I think he's better as a spot-up shooter myself. He's gotten really good at that. But anyway, when he's the point guard, he loves to drive. When he drives, it doesn't seem like anybody comes back out to vacate the space that he gives up. When Sharif does this, a lot of times either JT or Al will kind of zoom back and kind of cap the defense in case there's a quick throw out, a quick run out. But it seems like when Al does it, since Al's usually the guy who kind of backs up Sharif, nobody does it. And there were 2 or 3 times today where Al was taking over at point guard when they had Sharif on the bench. He would drive. There'd be a quick kick out, and Auburn had nobody there. And so on this particular graphic right here, that would show up as a loss in transition when it's really just kind of a schematic problem and somebody's not paying attention to what they're supposed to be doing. I haven't taken a really close look at the video to see who it was, but they've got to do a better job than that. Al and Jamal do a good job of that when Sharif is the point guard, but when Al's the point guard, it seems like nobody's doing that. It's kind of something that stuck out to me today. Again, it doesn't happen that much, but it's just one of those little things they've got to get fixed. But again, the whole reason I brought this up was that Auburn plays zone 14% of the time, which is a lot for them. It used to be about 2% of the time. And that's something that Chad Pruitt, who was mentioned earlier, is somebody who's kind of brought that along. We do have some super chats coming in. I'm sorry I'm a little bit behind on that because I got off on this little rant here. Ryan S., who's been with us a bunch here lately, the last 6 months or so. Appreciate you, bro. Says Cardo was a steal in last year's class. He was kind of a late addition, wasn't he? He didn't even play high school ball last year. Big fan of his since he is coming from my hometown, a man from Augusta. I believe. Augusta? Is that where he is? Better make sure of that before I start talking out my ass again. Anyway, Ryan, appreciate you, bro. Thank you for your support. You're always here for us, too. Ravine jumps in, our main man, who sometimes works by proxy, but other times not. Says the potential on this team is limitless. The chemistry on this team continues to get better. Keep up the great work, JG. Appreciate you, Ravine. Thank you for always having the scoop on that football-only facility, which is going on the old track where I thought it was going to go the whole time, bro. But you really knew, though. I was just guessing. Ben B jumping in. Hey now. Says, Big Cat coming back. Interesting situation there. The defensive end. Marcavius Bryant from Crisp County, Georgia, had announced intentions to enter. He did enter the transfer portal and announced intentions to go to Tennessee to play for his former coach, Shelton Felton. Problem was, like 3 or 4 days later, Shelton Felton was fired from Tennessee in the big mess that went down last week. And all of a sudden, all mentions of Big Cat going to Tennessee have disappeared off social media. So, what happens with Big Cat? I don't know the answer to that question. On the Zoom the other day, we only got one question each because of there was only so much time. And my question for Harson was about the transfer portal and just kind of understanding how to work that, because I think you see these teams like Florida State have added so many players, Miami too. Auburn hasn't added any. How's he going to start using that to his advantage? On the horn, we've got one of our favorite callers, AU Storm 20. What's going on, brother?
What's up, JG? How you doing on this beautiful Saturday?
It is a beautiful Saturday here in Central Alabama. I don't know what our friends look like in Alaska or whatever, but it is a beautiful day. And Auburn absolutely just trampled that team today, eh?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a night and day difference from Wednesday in terms of getting a big lead and keeping it, huh?
Yeah, right. They got into a big lead against Arkansas, kind of choked it away. This time they got a big lead and they just kept pushing, man, all day long.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people were upset about that game on Wednesday, and rightfully so. But I mean, these guys are young; they're trying to figure it out. I mean, you mentioned earlier how you kind of see how they let off the gas pedal, maybe a little bit on defense. Once they get comfortable on offense and they go on a little scoring barrage. And we definitely saw that Wednesday night where they let off the gas pedal. Arkansas, a little more experienced team, a little older team. They kept it on and got to the rim really easily. And thankfully, maybe they learned from that, and they still were a little lax once they got a big lead, but they kept going hard on offense. They kept getting good shots, good looks, and I think that kind of provided them with some confidence moving forward. And basketball isn't a game where it's like football, right? Where you have to do that every single game to win, and you don't learn moving forward. Like, you have flexibility in your season because you can get hot at the right time. You can't afford a loss in football where you're not supposed to have one. In basketball, you can take things throughout the season and apply it moving forward, like we saw with our Final Four team, like we saw, on last year's team at some points in time. I think this year's team, you're starting to see that now, and hopefully they're applying it each game moving forward. And that's only going to pay off dividends for the future. I mean, you're already seeing that game to game. Just imagine once these guys get even more comfortable moving in the next year, hopefully Sharif stays. Hopefully he's got a lot to work on. I think you bring all good points to the table when talking about his background, his family situation, his love for the game. Hopefully that incentivizes him to come back. And we haven't even seen this team at full strength. We missed JP. Prayers up. But I don't know. A lot of encouraging things today based on what we saw on Wednesday.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, Allen's been playing like an animal here lately. JT's coming along. Cardwell's coming along. Sharif's obviously an absolute stud. Jalen was really aggressive today. When he's aggressive, he's really good. They looked really, really sick today. And to think they're going to be adding two of the, let's say 50, the number 3 or 4 player in the country plus the number 45 player in the country next year, this team could be really just insanely good.
You remember last year when Flanagan shot the ball from 3 the ball would rotate like it was on an axis, like it's a globe, and it would rotate like that way.
Yeah.
I mean, the improvement he made on his shot is a testament to this coaching staff, and also the type of players that these guys are recruiting. I mean, the guys that recruiting are hard workers. They're guys that want to improve. They're guys that listen to coaches, and the coaching staff puts the work in and they see the results. And I think that is something that is so encouraging moving forward. And why I am not that I'm okay with certain losses throughout the year, but like we kind of expected those who watch basketball and following on the reg that, okay, we're going to be good, but there's going to be a lot of things missing that this team needs to improve on or get better at, so that the future is bright with this team, because they lost 85 to 90% of their team last year. And the fact that Flanigan took that over the summer, and he was lethal today from the three.
Yes.
Who would have thought that last year? That's crazy. So that's so encouraging. And I think even if they were to take time and work on Sharif's shot, and maybe he sees that improvement from what Flanigan made from year 1 to year 2, he maybe could say, all right, maybe I could be a shooter like that if I put in the work in, if they work on my shot with me, and maybe I like to come back another year and test that out. Maybe that's kind of the hope I'm hoping on and latch it on to for next year.
Because he's got, Sharif on this team next year is going to be insane if he ends up staying. And like we said, that the one thing is the shooting is not quite there. But like you mentioned, Al Flanigan turned his around in 1 year. And why can't Sharif do the same thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's funny because Dan Dockett said Sharif's going to suck after that first game. Well, he's a freaking clown. But he's done nothing but improve each game. And, like someone in the chat mentioned earlier, Baylor and Missouri, these next couple games are going to be a lot of people are going to have their eyes on that Baylor game, especially NBA scouts. So what he does there is going to kind of be important, moving forward. But I don't know, just a lot of encouraging things. It's always about moving forward, right? It's not about this year. It's about the 2-year plan and the Bruce revenge tour next year. Because that train's going to be coming hard and coming fast for some people.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people want to kind of write off Auburn right now and say, oh, they're going back to what they were. But that's somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about, because this team's getting a lot better. Hell, they've won 3 of the last 4. So
yeah. I took your advice today and I listened to the radio broadcast, because I tried to listen to the TV commentators, and man, Jimmy, I used to like Jimmy Dykes, but it was brutal to try to listen to today. I enjoyed my experience once I switched to the radio broadcast and sync that up with the TV, because these announcers these days, I don't know what's gotten into it, but they are terrible. I know you try to listen to the radio broadcast, right?
Oh, I listen. That's the only thing I listen to. I haven't heard an ESPN call all year, so I don't even know if they're bad or not, because I don't listen. Hey, look, man. Look, Andy knows the team. Coach Sonny knows the team. That's who I want to listen to. They know the team. Like Beth Mowens or Dan Dockich or Jimmy Dykes, they don't know the team. They know lots of teams. I don't know. Just how.
Yeah, Jimmy Dykes talked about Alabama basketball for at least a 10-minute stretch there. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot which game I was watching there for a minute. And just stuff like that. He talked about the Conor McGregor fight for at least 15 minutes during the broadcast.
Yeah, I saw him dressing up like he had the tattoo like Conor McGregor. Whatever.
I mean, I think that's the quality and the production that ESPN puts on it's so low level now compared to other sports outlets such as CBS and Fox Sports. They put an emphasis on the game they're calling right at that moment. These ESPN guys are just all over the place. It's so annoying.
I wonder if it is part. Ben mentions this in the chat. I wonder if it's different because they're not there. They're not there because of COVID. I wonder if that changes it a little bit. They feel like they got to be more animated and stupid.
It could be. That's a good point. I don't know, but even over the past couple years, I just feel like the quality in it has gone down. Like these guys see other commentators on TV and they try to mimic their personality and style, because that's what fits the culture right now. and that's just not the way. Like, it doesn't mix with their own personality.
Yeah.
So you just get a weird product, in my opinion.
Well, they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
We all are. It's hard for us too at Auburn
Yeah.
Sports because we don't get to hang out with the people that we usually do. I've been to usually by this time of the season I've been to 30 practices. You know, I've talked to BP 25 times. I've talked to Chad and Burgo and all of them, and I've got a lot better idea of what's going on now. It's like you have to call them or text them to try to get chats, and it just sucks, man. We'll get back within a year though.
Yeah, have you gotten any inclination on if that's going to change, you know, with the upcoming semester or summer or spring, or is this just kind of what it is right now moving forward?
Yeah, I think it'll change probably going into next fall, I think, but we're probably that far out. And I think Auburn's going to require us as reporters, if we're going to go into practice, we got to be vaccinated or whatever. We got to show that is what I think is going to go down.
Yeah.
Which I'll be first in line if I can get it, bro.
Yeah, I was just in Brazil visiting family, and you know, while I was there, they changed the rule to for U.S. citizens to come back to the country. You got to have the test, the negative test results to come back in, and you know, luckily we missed that deadline, so we were able to not have to worry about that. But just things like that, it's you know, changing on the fly. So it's going to be interesting to see over the next few months. You know, if you need to have a vaccine or a test or whatever to do anything, you know, regarding travel or sporting events or covering a team or anything like that.
So, yeah, we're trying to coordinate a Caribbean trip this summer, probably the second half of the summer, and hopefully, we got to have the negative test coming back. But the resorts have kind of partnered up with a group down there that will do the tests for you the day you travel, so that would help. But that's assuming you'd get a negative test. I guess if you got positive tests, you'd have to spend another 2 weeks in Dominican. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I know 2 weeks in the Dominican, another $2,000 on a room, unless you want to go to a random hole in the wall place in a weird country.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that. Plus, I can't I don't bring my bourbon with me to the Dominican. I got to drink their stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Walker Black Label.
That's about what I'll get. That and Jim Beam. Do you want the Jim Beam? Yes, I do. All right, AU Storm 20. Another great call. We appreciate you so much because you're always watching. You're always got your eyes open. You're a realistic basketball fan, but you're a real basketball fan. That's the best kind, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I love calling in. Love the drain. We'll hit it up next show.
All right, bro. See you, man.
All right, see you, man.
Bye. AU Storm 20. One of our best. Definitely been a basketball expert since the beginning. I love those folks. The folks who know basketball, who give a shit about basketball, who aren't just like football people dropping hot takes on the bunker, because that stuff drives me crazy. Y'all talking about Fife. Spread Attack says he misses Jim 5 days in every way. That's how I learned football at 5 years old, not from TV. Yeah, I miss Fife too, man. I think about it. I'm a Kentucky dude. He's a Kentucky dude. Used to kind of bond over that. It's been a long time, man. I found out when I was getting Chick-fil-A one day over there at East Chase, and Meredith Jenkins, who was the football SID at the time, called to tell me, and I was just like, because that was back in the days. We had internet, but it wasn't like there wasn't Twitter, and so you wouldn't necessarily know. And so that really sucked. And I mean, to say nothing for his wife and stuff. And his really good friends. I mean, I was a friend of his, but like not super tight. Wait, Canoe Man says, wait, the Commodore loves me? Of course I do, Canoe Man. You're awesome. You're a smart, rational, informed Auburn basketball fan. There's not that many. See, Nash Tiger says ESPN lost their stats feed. They apologized for it. It was a 30-point blowout. They had no stats for the announcers, and they had to talk about something to fill airtime. Interesting. See, I did not know that, Nash. So now I'm going to back up on that one, although I was not ragging on them specifically today because I didn't listen to them today. But and no offense, I'm not one of these people that's out there going, ESPN commentators all suck. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, for me, I happen to think Andy is a brilliant basketball broadcaster, so I want to listen to him. He's an Auburn guy. He's embedded with the Auburn team. He's a great basketball broadcaster. Like, that's the guy I would listen to 100% of the time. And Sonny, I just happen to find him brilliant. Like, I don't necessarily think everyone's going to feel that way about him. He has a lot of little down home-isms that he drops in there all the time. Today he was talking about they're hotter than a hot chicken skillet or whatever. And Andy's like, what? A hot chicken skillet? Is that really hot? And Sonny's like, yeah, man. You ever seen it like bubbling up? That stuff just makes me laugh out loud, and it makes me happy. I don't know if everybody agrees with me. I know a lot of y'all do. A lot of you guys are coming over to my way of thinking on listening to Sonny and Andy. But I know there were folks, Canoe Man, one of them, I know for sure, who's been listening this way all along. So, yeah, Nash Tiger, good point. Don't blame the announcers. They're a good team. Blame ESPN's inability to get them stats at their houses. Fair enough. Fair enough, bro. I did not know that. I did see our friend Cody, who is the Auburn basketball publicist, Cody Voga, from Iowa. He's probably my favorite person from Iowa, him or Kirk Sampson. Anyway, he had mentioned that he had to fix a stats issue that took most of the second half today. So I don't know. I don't know what the truth is there. He passed along looks like a statistical marker here. So Auburn scored 109 points today, which is the most they've ever scored on the road in an SEC game. It is not the most they've ever scored in an SEC game, however. In 1970, they scored 121 against the Bam Bams. And then 3 times they scored more than that against LSU, in 59, in 94, and also in 1975. But the most they ever scored in an SEC game was 121-78 victory over the Bammers in 1970. So, there you go. Still a hell of a performance. I mean, for real. And, I mean, for those of us who remember Anthony going down at South Carolina, I guess that was 3 years ago, how bad that was. And Auburn had such a hard time with that team back then. This is kind of a sweet payout to really kick their ass. Although Frank Martin is a guy that you just have to like. I know he's kind of a hard ass, but he's actually a really, really good dude. And as a reporter, he gets it with us. He understands our job. Let's see. War Eagles 0008 says, need more bunkerites to listen to the drain after games. They'd learn a lot. Also, LHT 2829, about as good as it gets on basketball. I'm not familiar. I did not know that. Elijah Dilday says, I'd like to see Pat Bradley call a game. Guy's got good energy. Pat Bradley can kiss my ass. How you feel about that, huh? He was at Arkansas. I don't like Arkansas very much, if you're asking me personally. For me, the teams that I hate are Duke, number 1. I absolutely loathe Duke. And I would say Arkansas is probably the next. Although it's not like I have a personal thing against people there or anything. It was just back in the day I hated Arkansas. I hated them, and I still do. Horrible. Bunch of goobs. Their basketball team used to be really good. You young guys don't remember that. But like mid-90s, they are really good. They had this dude like kind of like the best version of Chris Moore you've ever seen, which is a guy named Corliss Williamson. Played at Arkansas. He's so good. Really, really good college player. Let's see. Spread Attack says the weird Beth Mowings chick love fest was weird. What is that? I don't know what that means. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. You have my attention, but I don't know what you're talking about. War Eagle 0008 says SEC Network games are way better than ESPN as far as coverage. I agree completely. For me, basically anything with Fish on it, I'm good. Because I've known Fish since high school. Young man from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Signed with Auburn because his dad had played for Cliff Ellis in JUCO years ago. Fish ended up being a really good complimentary player, I guess. I mean, he might have started some games, but I think of him as like just a complimentary dude for Auburn when they were really good, 98, 99, 2000. Corey W. says, who was the Scotty dude from Arkansas that never missed a 3? That's Scotty Thurman, the little turd. Nah, he's cool. Yeah, but he was so good. Those two guys. Dickheads. Canoe Man says Fish is a good dude. Man, I actually, really one of the most uncomfortable moments of my career was with Fish. At Rod Bramlett's funeral, I started crying on him. which is embarrassing to think about. I was interviewing him. Well, hold on. I got to finish the story, yo. I was interviewing Fish, and I'm not necessarily like formally interviewing him. Like I was getting some stuff, but it wasn't like a full-on interview where I'm like, Fish, talk about, it was more like just kind of talking. And if he said something I thought was notable, I wrote it down. And then we started talking about something to do with Rod, and I started crying for whatever reason. I don't even remember why. And I was just me and Fish. Fish is like, oh, shit, what am I going to do? But he was actually really cool, put his arm around me, just because it was such an unusual circumstance, But he is absolutely superstar. Love Fish. So if Fish is on there, I'm in. But Pat Bradley, I'm not ever going to warm up to him. It just ain't going to happen. I'm trying to get more information on this Chick Love Fest. I'm interested, but I don't know. Let's see. Spread a text says they had some kind of all of our daughters want to be like you, Beth. Tears. It was goofy. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, I get it. If you want to be a broadcaster and you're a girl, right? You got to, yeah, she's definitely one that you would look up to. Her and Hannah Storm and Doris Burke. I mean, they're good. There's a younger one named Courtney. Usually does girls basketball, but I think I heard her on a guys game the other day, just passing through the channels. I wish I remembered her last name. You got to have somebody to look up to. I get it, man. I had people to look up to. Chuck Culpepper, John Clay, Philip Marshall, Charles Goldberg. Oh, great point. War Eagle says any shot we get B-Man in the horn. Not only is there a good shot, not only is there a shot, there's a really good chance because we're going to do it right now. We love getting B-Man on the horn. And here I was talking about Fish and I was going all down that rabbit hole and I forgot about which course we're going to talk to. Canoe Man wants to know, do you think he's out of bed yet? Get him! Uh-oh. We may not get him.
Leave your message.
We did not get B-Man. Is that the first time ever, Canoe Man? Canoe Man, you would be the expert on this. Is that the first time we didn't get B-Man? We didn't get B-Man? Excuse me? Here he comes. He's calling back. It's all good. B-Matt!
What is up?
What up, bro?
Just watching a little basketball, writing a little story.
Yeah, is the Zoom over now, though?
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right, sweet.
Pearl seemed pretty pleased. That was not a typical Frank Martin team, obviously. They've been hit hard by COVID, and, I don't know that Frank's ever given up that many points in the game ever. But Auburn played, terrifically, shot well, out-rebounded a good rebounding team, played as well as you'll ever see them play on the road, offensively for sure. And Sharif Cooper, man, another awesome game. I think if it was a more competitive game and he didn't get a little banged up on his elbow, he probably would have had a triple-double. I mean, it just came up 4 rebounds short. I mean, he was just unbelievable.
Yeah, left elbow was a little bit of a problem. We have some people wondering in the chat, Brian. These people are savages. They want to know if we woke you up.
Oh, no.
No? And you're
I've
not...
been up early. I did my long walk. I did a little work, a little writing, did the game, and then did the interviews and wrote my story. So,
How dare you guys question him, dang it. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm not going to sleep through a basketball game. Come on.
No, I know you. They're just hateful. I don't know why. Are you working in the bed, though?
They need to chill. No, I'm not. I'm sitting in the kitchen.
There were some people surprised on the Harson Zoom the other day. They said they were surprised that you weren't sitting in bed, though.
Well, I changed it up. Got to make a good impression, especially with first-time coaches that don't really know me. And
then you had to mention about how you spell your name, right?
Of course. That's how I make my connection. Me and Harson are great friends now because of that Y.
It's pretty big, but he says huge like the rest of us instead of edge.
Yeah, he didn't seem too impressed. He didn't even flinch when I said that. I don't think.
I don't know if he's.
Maybe he was.
We're gonna have to break him down a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, I want to ask you a little bit about Al Flanagan, though. Had another good game, and this has been just an incredible season for him so far, man.
I think I saw it was on this broadcaster earlier. The second most improved player in the SEC as far as points per game. I mean, he's been terrific, and I can just remember people saying he was never going to be anything more than a average player and couldn't shoot last year, and now look at him. He's a really good shooter and all-around defender, playmaker, rebounds really well for his size. I mean, he does it all. Good leader, and also really level-headed too. You can tell he's the son of a coach, right? You know, just the way he handles himself on and off the court. So yeah, he's just Auburn's lucky to have him, man. If they can keep this group together, they're going to be so good.
Yeah, I know.
You know, they're good now, but they're going to be so good next year. So good.
And they're getting pretty good now, to be honest with you.
I know.
I
know, it's crazy.
Defensively, they kind of come and go, but generally on the attacking end, they're tearing people down.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty good.
Sharif just changes everything. You know, his ability to break through double teams or penetrate, and his incredible vision. He can find anyone inside for dunks and alley-oops, drives in and finds guys wide open for three-pointers. You know, they're getting good shots. They're not having to force it or do step-back threes and all that crazy stuff all the time. They're getting nice, easy, unguarded threes. And, man, that offense looks so good when he's running it.
Yeah. Did you get a player on the Zoom today?
We got both Jalen Williams and Alan Flanagan. And then I'm putting up my story now, and Christian's doing a little feature on Alan Flanagan and what he's done so far.
Damn, okay. What was Jalen saying?
Jalen was pretty excited. I mean, nobody was like crazy, you know, hey, we're the best team in the country now. But one thing he talked about was how important it was for them to finish this game. You know, they blew that 19-point lead at Arkansas a few days ago. And basically Arkansas made that run at the end of the second half, and then boom, blew them out at the start of the second half. And it was the opposite today. You know, Auburn extended its lead at the end of the first half and came out, scored the first 6 points in the second half. And he said they really talked about that a lot at halftime. So that was something that he really talked a lot about. And he also mentioned Frank Martin and how much respect they had for him and his team going into this game. And he said that preparation really made a difference, and just the scouting department and everything they did for that. I think it was who was it that had the scout for this game? It wasn't Pearl. It wasn't. It was who's the number one assistant or the number two assistant? It wasn't Flanagan. It wasn't Pearl. It was
Ira.
Yeah, I think it was Ira Bowman. Yeah, I think he had the scout for this one.
All right, I can check on that.
Yeah,
because this team was scouted really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah, they had no. I mean, Auburn was in control of this game from start to finish, basically. Once they made that little run midway through the first half, it was pretty much over.
Yes. In the second half, you know, you're kind of thinking, are they going to do it again? And they just like, boom, 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 boom. Like, nope, they're not going to do it today.
Yeah. And this was not a typical Frank Martin team. I mean, Auburn got way too many wide open shots. I mean, Frank Martin, his teams are usually the toughest teams in the SEC physically wise, and really tough to play at home. You know, I've seen some Auburn teams go up there and just play horribly. I know the Final Four team, I'm pretty sure they lost up there, if I'm not mistaken, that year, a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah, they had a hard time with that group, man. They were so physical.
Yep, and you can tell, you can just see Frank on the sidelines. He's not his normal active and angry self, and his team was not the usual standards. And, you know, I think COVID and all the issues they've had with having to cancel games has really affected them.
Yeah, it happens. All right, so they've got Missouri on Tuesday night at 8:00. That's going to be a tough one, B-Matt. Missouri's pretty good.
It is. Missouri is good, but Auburn is getting good and is better, and they're playing at home. So, and this game's going to give them a lot of confidence. Really, this whole road trip, even though they lost to Arkansas, that was a good learning loss. You know what I mean? They learned a lot in that game. And you can see they applied some of those lessons in this game. And I'd be surprised if the Missouri game wasn't a tight game, and I'd be surprised if Auburn doesn't have a chance to win.
A real good chatter. War Eagle 0008 wants to know kind of what you think about JP. What has BP said specifically about JP and kind of his health going forward?
Well, he talked about him when we talked to him. I guess it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was yesterday. and he basically said that they just got to get him to get in that process, that first step of coming out there and getting cleared, and then taking those steps forward. They did that once a couple of weeks ago. He came out there one day and then didn't respond to that. So they just got to get him going. But I think they feel like he's getting closer, like he's getting better. And I would not be surprised if maybe this week will be the week they start to maybe take some steps forward with him. So,
all right, sweet.
So we'll see. He did say he was struggling. He wants to be out there. The only thing I would say about him is I just think I see people on Twitter and our board sometimes like, what's going on? Is there something more we don't know about? No, this is just a typical concussion. Now, this is the way things are. I looked it up. The average timeout for a concussion in sports now is about 19 days. But there have been instances now where players have missed months or even a whole season if they can't come back to this protocol, which is a good thing. It protects these players, right? We've seen players from the 90s and the 80s and the 2000s have serious injuries and, have dementia and commit suicide, and other bad things happen to them. So they've changed these rules now to do a better job of caring for these young people and making sure they fully heal from these concussions before they come back. So you just have to be patient and just wait. It's not like a sprained ankle where he'll be back in a week, or it's a high ankle sprain where it's 3 weeks. It's not like that. You just have to wait and see.
The brain is a difficult organ.
Yep.
It's complicated, Brian.
It is.
All right, buddy. We're going to bounce now. Thank you for spending some time with us. And Canoe Man's excited because you didn't sound like you were out of wind or you were snorkeling. So that's good.
Oh, that's good.
All right, B-Matt.
Right,
appreciate you, bro. Bye.
All right, later.
There he is, Brian Matthews. Fully awake and fully fit. He's got his win today. He loves it. He loves reporting in for you guys. Nash Tiger says Arkansas was not scouted well. Disagree. Adjustments were not made. Disagree. But they didn't finish that game. Remember, they gave up 94 the first time through, and they gave up 75 this time at their place. I'd say that's an improvement. My man, Corey Dubb. Ravine says, amazing what fresh oxygen can do for BMAT. I love it, man. A. Robinson insists he was asleep. He wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't. He did a great job today. He's so cool that you can put a tarantula in his shorts and he'll still be cool. All right, we'll probably wrap it up there. I mean, I feel like we get B-Man on the horn. We get AU Storm 20. We break down everything with the basketball game. We'll talk about Harsin a little bit. Finishing out the staff. He did kind of go through and break up the staff and explain kind of how he got to those guys. Jeff Pittman, their strength and conditioning guy, Boise State connection. Mike Bobo. When Harsin was at Texas and he was assistant there, he said he got to know Bobo, who was at Georgia at the time. He didn't really explain why. He's like, well, he was at Georgia, I was at Texas. I mean, obviously. And we got to know each other then. I was like, okay. Maybe they played in a bowl game. I don't remember. 2011, he said. Derek Mason, he said he went on vacations with him, which got the bunker thinking. Will Friend, we all know why Will Friend's here. He's tight with Mike Bobo, so that's kind of why he's here. Zacchaeus Etheridge. Somehow or another, Harsin knows Dana Holgerson, and Holgerson was like, the kid's good, for reals. Cadillac. Well, we know the story there. We'll take this call. I don't have this person lined up in our system, though. Hey, caller, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Hello, who I got?
JG.
You.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, who this?
Alaska Tiger.
Oh, hey, what up,
hey,
bro?
hey.
Oh, no.
Oh, not much. I got a chance to watch the game. Had a good time doing that this morning.
Yeah, like, what was the time for you?
8 o'clock.
That's not bad. You can do
8
that.
o'clock in the morning. No, not too bad. So, got to enjoy that. And then listening to the brain drain. And, pretty much, you summed everything up, and so did everybody else. So that all was good. I did have one kind of question.
Hell yeah.
Auburn's playing pretty well. I wonder what they're looking at as a second point guard.
Interesting.
For, a little bit of, 5-10 minute relief or whatever, or in case, something happens to Cooper, what are they going to do, or where are they going to go this next year? Obviously, they'll probably, continue on with Flanagan. Who knows what's going to happen, with Powell, but, this year's already set, but what are they going to do with a, backup point guard for next year?
Yeah, good question. Ravine in the chat says Alaska Tiger has his whole day ahead of him. I don't know. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have to get on the transfer market in the portal and see if they can pick up somebody to come in for as a one-hit wonder. I think is what they're gonna have to look at. That's assuming that Sharif didn't come back, because if Sharif comes back, nobody's gonna want to play behind him because he's so good,
Right.
But if he's not here,
they're not gonna get anybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, they're not going to get anybody on Sharif's caliber, but having a second point guard just mix things up. So I wonder. I know Auburn this year they're going to go through a one scholarship reduction or something. I believe
we think so.
Is that Turbo's scholarship, or is his scholarship going to be available next year?
That's a good question. For me, the question is Javon Franklin going to leave or not? If he leaves, I don't think it's a problem. If he doesn't leave,
right.
I don't know what they're going to do then.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll figure it out. Plus, the scholarship reduction is just kind of like me and Brian kind of speculating, honestly. That has not been done.
All right. One more question on that. The other sanction is the self-imposed sanction. They've talked about not going the postseason. Now, is the SEC tournament included in that, or do you think they may still do an SEC tournament at the end?
The SEC will do one, but Auburn will not participate in the SEC tournament. When they play their last regular season game, that's it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, then that's looking towards the future. So
look at you, Alaska Tiger. You're asking the questions everybody wants to know, though. That's good stuff, because I think there's a lot of people that are anxious. They have a kid coming in. They have a 2022 kid named Scoot Henderson, who I think he scored 53 points last night.
Yeah.
But he's class of 2022. There is some chatter that he might reassign or whatever to the earlier class and potentially come in next year, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, the most direct answer to your question is they got to get on the transfer portal and find him somebody.
Yeah, and I think they probably could find somebody, obviously not as good as Cooper, but somebody, super serviceable.
Yeah, that's all you're going to need with the
Give
dudes.
him some extra minutes. Yeah.
With the dudes they have to score the basketball, all they need is just a serviceable. You're right. That's all they need.
Yeah.
Word. All right, Alaska Tiger, you're our man in Wasilla. As good as it gets out there, brother.
Yep, I'm still here in Puerto Rico, but that's okay. Yep.
When are you going back to Puerto Rico?
I just got back from there over right after Christmas. I was back there for about a month.
Okay.
We lived there about 2 months out of the year.
And then, so now you're not going to go back until November or so?
Probably sometime over the summer for a month and a half, maybe. Not sure.
And is it still kind of decimated down there?
No, it's not. It's not too bad. No, it's the hurricanes not really affected much.
Okay.
It's a pretty bad economy, and I tell people I wouldn't want to work down there, but semi-retired down there, that's something a little different.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right, Alaska Tiger, appreciate you calling in from Wasilla, bro.
Okay, I'll be listening to your other shows, so.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
There he is, Alaska Tiger, calling in from like damn near the other side of the world. Well, not really the other side of the world, but you know what I mean. It's a long way from Montgomery to Wasilla. I feel like I should have a special sound just for him, but I don't have one, so. We got to figure that out. I have like 20 sounds and I still don't feel like I have enough. I need more. All right, Alaska Tiger, I've got you entered into the system now. Coy Dub says he's going to grab some food. Love the show. JG, let's party soon. Waiting on you, bro. All right, man. I don't know what I'm doing tonight yet. Still trying to figure it out. Let's see. Ravine says every team should thank us this year if we are not going to play in the SEC tournament. You're right. Auburn is really coming into form right now, and they're going to break some hearts had they been participating in the SEC tournament. Josh D asks, what did you think about the outside linebackers coach hire, meaning Burt from Memphis, also from Fresno State? He's going to be outside linebackers and also special teams. Honestly, I don't have a strong opinion on him. The fact that Harsin knew him from the Fresno State days is good, and that Harsin liked him, but I don't know him personally. We've got another absolute luminary on the line right now. It is Crocky Poo. Crocosile, what's up, bro?
What's up, JGT?
It's great to have you on the show, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. Man, this was a good way to start the day. I tell you what.
Well, when we have you on the line, Crocosile, we feel like it's always taking a step forward. Although, to be fair, we've had AU Storm 20, Brian Matthews, and Alaska Tiger on today, so I don't know. That's a good group of guys there.
Yeah, those are 3 home run callers right there.
But one thing we like about you, Crocky Poo, is that you are you're a basketball fan. You're not going to be giving us some of these terrible hot takes that we see on the bunker. You actually know your hoop.
Yep, actually, I'm about to head out here and go watch UAB play some basketball with Andy Kennedy.
Yeah, they've been good, too.
Yeah, he's been great this season. They've been looking much, much better. Are
you one of the Blaze On guys?
Yeah. They're my second team.
Okay.
Love Auburn first, but, it's pretty hard to get into any basketball games now, so just going to watch some live is a treat in of itself.
Yeah, that's pretty rad, man. Pretty fired up for you about that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see a UAB team it's pretty damn good, honestly.
Yeah, they're playing Rice. I think Rice is it's UAB and Rice is tied for first in their division right now.
No kidding.
So it's been good basketball.
I didn't know that. Thoughts on this basketball team right here, these Auburn Tigers, Crocosile? You were one of the guys who never lost faith, even when they were 0-4. So are they about what you thought they'd be now?
I think they're improving still. Still got to get everyone on the same page. They on offense they look amazing right now. Everyone's flowing the right way. Everyone's on the same page. Still a couple mishandling under the basket from the bigs, but that just. They'll get better with time. On defense, it seems like there's slip-ups, like every 2 or 3 plays. Someone doesn't know if it's a zone or man or not under the basket, like guarding the basket. They'll figure it out, though. It just comes with experience.
Yeah, and they're getting experience week by week. And I think you can look at everybody except for Babatunde, and you can say that dude is significantly better than he was a month ago. I'm not trying to rag on Babatunde. I'm just saying he's one that doesn't necessarily stick out to me, but the other guys for sure.
Yeah, I think Stretch is one of our better rim protectors. He slipped up on defense a couple times tonight, but, all our bigs do. I think he caught more passes tonight than usual, so I think he's still improving with the rest of the team.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. What are your expectations for this Missouri game coming up? Do you feel like that's one they got to have?
Oh, I'd love to have it. I don't know, though. I've watched Missouri a couple times during SEC play, and they don't seem as good as their ranking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
So I think we could sneak away with it. But they got to put 2 halves together, and that they did it today. I don't know if they'll be able to do it again. We'll see.
Quanzo Martin, quality coach. Missouri, quality basketball team.
Man, remember us going down there last year, and we got completely spanked. It was not fun to watch.
No, that wasn't fun.
So, he's a good coach.
He is. They're good. They're good to have him for sure. And I'm old enough to remember when he was an actual player. So, it makes it worse.
Wow.
Don't start with me, Crocosile. Come on, bro.
I'm definitely going to watch his game tonight, because that's like a revenge game for him tonight, isn't it, versus Tennessee?
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's an important one for him. And then you got Baylor. What are you going to have some conflicted feelings when Auburn plays Baylor and you see Davion in the whatever they're going to wear, the gold or the green?
Man, I hope he does well, just not next Saturday.
Yeah, I understand. All right, Crocky Poo. I hope you have Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was just going to say have a good time at the UAB game and represent.
I will.
I know you'll represent well.
Yep. All right. You have a good weekend, JT.
All right, Crocky Poo. See you, bro. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye. There he is, Crocky Poo. He's a stud. Let's see. Cleveland Brown had super chatted. Appreciate you, bro. Always with us, man. Cleveland Brown's been here since the very beginning. Any chance we get Jay Lee on the line to talk recruiting? I did text him right after you sent me that. And I was not planning to have Jay Lee on, so I hadn't talked to him before the show. And he hadn't answered me yet because when Jay Lee, when he doesn't have something to do, he's usually kind of off doing his own thing. So that's on me. I probably should have worked with him ahead of time, Cleveland Brown, honestly. So I will endeavor to do a better job. Someone asked earlier about the next brain drain. I don't think we're going to do one on Tuesday because, again, when these games tip at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock for our friends in the Eastern time zone, it means we don't even get on the air until 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. That's just too late, man. People got to go to work. And so I would imagine it's going to be the Baylor game. And even if that's late, it doesn't bother me as much on the weekends, but like on a weekday, everybody's got to go to work. Ravine says he's bouncing. Hate to run during Crocosile's call, but I'll catch everyone on the next train. Thanks, JG, for holding it down. I hope everyone has a great day. War Damn Eagle Ravine is out as well. Crocosile giving some love on that one. So, all right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Cleveland, I'm sorry about that, bro. Next time I will get that straightened out. That's on me. Again, the Auburn Tigers victorious big time in Columbia. The most points they've ever scored in an SEC road game ever in the history of ever. 109-86. Big game from Sharif, who had a lot of assists, 12. And also for Al Flanagan, who had 24 points. And I think 4 players were in double figures today. Regardless, they shot well from 2. They shot well from 3. They shot well from the free throw line, 15 of 16, I believe. Let's see. Hold on. Valley Tiger says, Jay, the username font on your chat scroll is almost impossible to read. Let's see if I can figure that out. Maybe we can make the type for the type a little bit bigger next time. See what we can do, though. Appreciate you, Valley Tiger. Good suggestion there. Pocket Watch says maybe a pregame with Gabe on Tuesday. Yeah, I have to talk about. Let me write that down. I'm going to talk with Gabe about that. I think they do a pregame show there. I think he does one now. So maybe I can jump on his show and we can put it on the bunker as well. That might be the best way to go about that. But he also has his own people he wants to talk to. A. Robinson says football recruiting news. We were going to try to get Jay Leon, but that was my fault. I didn't work with him before the show to kind of get him set up. So that's on me, A. Robinson. I apologize, bro. I don't have enough to offer you myself. I bet Jay Lee would, but he's out doing his thing right now. He did put up hot boards, offense and defense yesterday, and that has some good information there as well. Just kind of giving an idea of what's left to kind of pick up because they've already signed some dudes and they're in the process of going out and looking around for this, that, and the other thing. Although I think the transfer portal is going to be a big part of that in the future. But I tried to get some information at Harsin the other day about how they're going to approach that. Didn't get much, so we'll just have to see how it works out. Because Florida State and Miami have done so much work on the transfer portal, just bringing dudes in. Auburn hasn't really done that yet, but he said on the Zoom that he would like to do that in the future. And I'm not necessarily saying he's going to get a bunch of players, but he wants to work on it. Grindworks wants to know when the next brain drain is. I think it's going to be for the Baylor game. Definitely not Missouri. It's just too late. Plus, man, I like doing the game wraps. It kind of gets me back to what I used to do, you know. I think you guys enjoy it too, so I'll work on that on Tuesday night. Anyway, guys, we'll wrap it up there. And also, yeah, if conditions merit, maybe we'll do another brain drain emergency one. If something happens. I don't know what would happen. You know, it is coming up on signing day, so we need to probably do one of those to kind of put everything back together with this class. Anyway, guys, we'll wrap it up there. To all of our super chatters, we love you guys. appreciate you supporting the channel. For the folks that just chat, we love you guys too. Crocodile says the scout this game was Ira Bowman for sure. All right, very good to know. I think the team's on the plane right now. That's why I'm not getting information. So that was a hell of a scout today. They had it absolutely figured out to a T. So good on Ira to get that one straight. Also to our callers, Alaska Tiger calling in from Wasilla. My main man AU Storm 20 called in as well. B-Matt for spending some time with us as well. And then Crockett Boo finishing it up. Pocket Watch says a little inside info. It was a couple of bunker legends who showed Mizzou how to stream. Interesting. I hope that I'm one of them, bro, because I helped him a lot too. All right, guys. I'll wrap it up there. Have a great Saturday and this weekend. We got some NFL games tomorrow. I'm pulling for the Packers, by the way. And, yeah. All right, guys. Be good. Love you guys. See ya.